In many companies and organizations worldwide, as well as when you study English at some teaching centers, establishing SMART goals is part of your performance management system and a standard way of determining whether or not you're making progress. If you aren't familiar with SMART goals, stay with me because in this video we're going to be looking at what they are and what to think about when creating and implementing them for the purposes of English improvement. And then you're going to learn how to make them smarter. Are you ready? Let's get started. If you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and invite the bell to be notified every time I upload new content, which will be relevant to you if you are looking to become proficient in English. Remember to subscribe and click the bell so that you can receive notifications whenever I upload a new video. If we haven't met yet, my name is Tanya Meyer and I'm an English as a foreign language teacher to adults, specializing in mindfulness practices to bring clarity, joy, and understanding to your English acquisition and use by learning how to incorporate it into your everyday life instead of seeing it as something separate from you or something that you have to make extra time for. Right, let's start with SMART goals. What are they and how to apply them to make progress with your English? SMART is an acronym, which means that each letter in the word stands for something else. Acronyms are great ways of storing large amounts of information compressed into a single word. So you can think of acronyms as zip files. Now, the S in SMART stands for specific. And I want to pause here for a moment to talk about what specific goals means. It means that if you make overgeneral goals, like for example, I want to improve my English, or I want to get a better job, or I want to get a 7 in IELTS, then that really isn't very helpful towards getting you there. Just setting a general goal like that is a little bit like this analogy that I'm going to give you right now. But I want you to remember, it isn't that you cannot reach these goals, because you absolutely can. But it might not be a good idea to expect to achieve them in one step. You know, many years ago, I used to work in the marine industry. And once I traveled as a passenger on a cargo ship from Europe to Cleveland in the US. The ship I was traveling on was carrying 16,000 tons of steel. Now, just to give you an idea of how much steel that is, 1 ton is 1,000 kilos. So 16,000 tons of steel is a lot of steel. And in order to reach Cleveland, which is at the tip of Lake Erie, one of the 5 Great Lakes of the US, the ship had to climb as much as the height of the Niagara Falls. That's 100 meters in order to be able to sail across Lake Erie, because Lake Erie is 100 meters above Lake Ontario. That's why we have the Niagara Falls, because they fall from one lake to the other. So setting yourself this goal of, oh, I want to improve my English, or oh, I want to get a 7 in IELTS, or oh, I want to get a better job, might be a little bit like expecting this ship carrying 16,000 tons of steel to jump from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie. Now, you see, that doesn't happen. But what does happen is that the ship absolutely moves from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie. And the way it did this was that in the first place, it moved into a smaller area, like a lock, and then the water was blocked behind it, and the area was filled with water. So the ship rose slightly. And then it moved into the next lock. And that lock was blocked at the back. And that area was filled with water. And then the ship sailed into the next lock. And this is how it climbed 100 meters. But in that climbing, there wasn't like a jump. As a passenger in the ship, you didn't feel the climb. You know, the ship was just gently raised with water, and then it continued a little bit, and then it stopped, and then it raised again as the lock was filled with water. And in all of this, you couldn't really feel any jump or bump or crash or anything like that. It was a very smooth transition. And so this is a little bit how we're going to get you to where you want to be, by setting specific goals. So you can think of these specific goals as entering one of these locks and then filling it with water, and allowing yourself to enjoy this aspect of moving forward with your English, because you know that your ultimate intention is to arrive at that higher level. But right now, you are in transit, and this is what needs to happen for you to move from where you are to where you want to be. So what can a specific goal be? Well, an example could be something like to create a 30-day English action plan and implement it. Because otherwise, what's the point, right? Would you like me to create a video on how to create a 30-day English action plan? Drop a yes, 30-day English action plan video in the comments below. And I'll film that next. Okay, so now we have our specific goals, and we need them to be measurable. That's what the M stands for in SMART. This means that you need to set up your goal in such a way that you can measure whether or not you have achieved it. For example, if you set the 30-day English action plan, let's stick to that example for now. But of course, it can be anything. It can be something like to watch a 10-minute video every day for a week, or to listen to a 6-minute podcast every day for 2 weeks. But if it's measurable, then you can look back and see that you did what you said you would do. That is, you can measure whether or not you implemented your specific goal. A stands for achievable. So if you make your goal something like, I want this ship carrying 16,000 tons of steel to move from this lake to that lake, which is 100 meters higher, then that doesn't really seem achievable. And already you'll be full of resistance and disappointed that you weren't able to achieve that goal. But remember, it absolutely can be moved from this lake to that one. But your specific goals refer to those locks that I was speaking about before, so that you can move seamlessly and effortlessly towards your goal. Watch a 10-minute video every day, or listen to a 6-minute podcast every day is something achievable. It's something you can do. The R stands for relevant. Relevant to what? Well, relevant to you and your interests and the direction you want to move towards, because that's what motivates and excites you. If you're interested in socializing, look for videos on socializing. If you're interested in sports, look for videos and podcasts on sports. If you're interested in getting a better job, look for videos and podcasts about how to get a better job. That's what makes goals relevant. They're relevant to you and to your general aim of becoming more proficient in English. The T in SMART is for time-bound. So a goal like create a 30-day English action plan contains the time-bound element. the period you're making the plan for is 30 days. You can call it my 30-day English challenge. That's a very popular thing to do these days. You set yourself a short-term challenge and see if you can do it. Of course you can do it if you make it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. There's no question. You can do it, okay? So that's SMART goals. But now let's make them smarter. The E and the R in smarter stand for emotionally riveting. Do you know what riveting means? It means fascinating, captivating, absorbing, mesmerizing, spellbinding. Watch my video on how to expand your vocabulary, which I'll leave a link to right here. But what you're doing with goals that are emotionally riveting is that you are investing feeling and emotion into those goals. You're imagining how wonderful you'll feel once you achieve them. Because we know that by doing this, by setting goals in this way and becoming fascinated by them and enjoying them and investing the whole of ourselves in them, it won't be long before we're sailing freely and have more space to move forward because we've achieved our general or more general goal. When you set goals in this way, you enjoy the steps as you raise your English from one lock to the next, and you enjoy the sailing freely as well until you get to the next point where you need to set new goals. And it's never too long before you do. And so that's what you do. You start all over again, moving forward in any direction you choose. So to summarize, having an overly general goal, like, oh, I want to improve my English, but not thinking about why or what for, is not really going to help you move towards proficiency in English. You're going to move towards proficiency in English as long as you have goals that you set for yourself that are more short-term and that you continue the momentum. So once you're moving forward, that you keep that high vibration and you keep moving forward with high motivation. Even when you feel you're stuck, for example, it might not be the case that you're stuck. It's just that the area you're in is being elevated. But you need to continue to be engaged with the language in order for this to happen. So if you're wondering about how to do this in your everyday life, make sure that you pick up a copy of my guide, How to Revolutionize Your English, 8 Steps for Success, which I will leave a link to down below. And remember that you can also set up a consultation call to see if you are a good match to join my English training and coaching program. So watch out for that link in the description box below as well. And I hope this was helpful and that it makes you think about a different way of moving forward with your English. And I'll see you in the next one. How to set up a 30-day English action plan. See you then. Make sure you click that bell to be notified when I upload it. See you then. Bye for now.